Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back. As always, huge massive thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. Firstly, I'm just going to apologise because I think Henry's a bit barky today, so you're probably going to hear him a bit in this video. He's been barking for about on and off for the last little while. But I'm coming back in with the current members free gift at Hunkydory, which is Floral Serenity. This is the Wishing Wreaths set. So you've got two large sort of toppers with a sentiment in, so really no need for anything else unless you particularly want to put mum or nan or whoever on, or friend, you know, that sort of thing. But we have got quite a few little sentiment ones as well. On your special day, thinking of you, heartfelt sympathy, sent with love, and just a little reminder that you are amazing. And then you've got these three sort of smaller round toppers as well, so quite a lot on this page. Then you've got your printed cardstock with that border down two of the sides. And then you've got your feature foiled cardstock there with the butterfly and that beautiful hydrangea, one of my favourite plants. I've got the $12.99 kit, so this is the one that has the insert papers, adorable scoreable, and the little book. I've really pre-cut one of the inserts up just because I used the other trimmer. And then you've got those double-sided papers. Now I have been saying with the rest of the kit that I did sort of put this together going by Hunkydory's website. I'm not sure if these are exactly the same as they are supposed to be, but the kit is you know, they're always themed to work really well within each other anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But let's get started. So I'm going to do a little easel card with a step for my first card. So I'm going to bring in my scoreboard, and I've got a piece of 6x12 300 GSM white cardstock, and I'm just going to score this at 3 and at 6. So I'm just doing it as if I'm making a normal little easel card. And then I've just got an off cut of a piece, I think it's 6 inches, yeah. And I'm going to score this at 1.5 and at 3, and I'm just going to put a score at 3.5 because that's where I'm going to cut it in a second. So let's just put that to the other side actually so I don't fall over it. So let's trim that down first of all. Okay, let's just get rid of that. So I'm just going to pop it down for a second while I just burnish this down and get this attached on. I'm just going to turn that the other way, slightly whiter on one side, this cardstock. And then put that there. And then open that up. That burnish down as well. So our card shape, we're going to have our easel card that goes like so, and then our step is going to come on the front, and that will sit over our little stopper and hide that stopper, so it will look like the card is just you know, on its own sort of held up by itself, really, basically is what I'm trying to say. So let's grab some red liner tape, find the end, I'm going to pop that on, that good, burnish down, and I am going to put some tacky glue just on these corners, just, I don't want them popping up, I really hate bits of card popping up. Now if I pop that down flush, now just re-burnish that because that isn't quite as straight as it could be. What I'm going to do is bring that in. I'm going to butt it up to the bottom of that cardstock. And then press that down like so, and then that should be mixed up quite nicely. And then what we've got is, like I said, we've got our piece that goes like so. Okay, and the reason why I do that on this inside piece is then I can hide it, or hide most of it with the layers. Otherwise you do have that sort of piece on there which doesn't look too unsightly, but if I can try and hide as much as I can, that's what I will usually do. So I'm going to bring in a mirror mat. This is the 6x6 one. And we're going to start with this piece here. So this is just going to be 2 notches off the 6. Just my usual sort of layers. And that's going to go on to there, like so. And on for that one, I've got the insert, which I've cut a 5 3/4 square. And then we're going to come to this piece here, which is 3x6. So if I take 2 notches off the 6, and that means I'm going to have the right length. And then if I turn that around and I want 2 notches under the 3 to go on to my piece here. And then this one here, which is 1.5, I'm going to take that to 2 notches under the 1.5. And that will fit onto there quite nicely, like so. So then we need some cardstock. Now I didn't look and see which one I wanted to use. I feel like this one is probably going to be better. So let's cut this to 5 3/4. And then I'm going to cut it to 5 3/4 this way. So if I go to 1 1/4, that's just going to take us to just below that lace. So what I'm going to do is cut along the top of that lace line. And then I'm going to turn that round and bring that back in at 1 1/4 inches. Just making sure that's nice and straight. And then that means I'm going to have that little bit of lace just on that top piece there, which I like. And then this piece, we just need to cut this down to 2 3/4. I think I'm going to leave that as it is on the bottom there, with that little border of dots running along. And then that should fit quite nicely onto there. So we're going to have that little bit of floral coming up over the top. Still got a nice sized border there as well. So let's go ahead and pop these pieces on, and then we can look at the topper and how we want that to come over the top. So the glues I'm going to be using, you've already seen the Cloud Tacky glue. Also going to be using the Cloud All-Purpose glue, which is an alcohol-based glue. And for the insert paper, I'm going to be using the Hunkydory Dotty tape pen. So I'm just going to come in with the all-purpose and the... Not quite sure why I decided to juggle that, but hey ho. That's the chair, not my creaky bones. I'm waiting for the better weather to get into the shed and get some WD-40 or something out. I'm just going to pop this on. I'm just pop this on. I might recut this piece because I'm not happy with this crease line going in. But actually you're really not going to see it once that's on, so I'm going to live with it. I think I was just a little bit aggressive folding that, and that's why I've got that there. But this is the insert, so it's paper, so I don't want to use the tacky glue with it having that water content. The all-purpose has got an alcohol content, so it doesn't soak into the paper in the same way. so the glue dots will do the job of the tacky and just hold that in position. Once I'm happy with where I have that, I'm going to give it just a good press over because I still want to be able to, you know, for somebody to be able to write on that if they want to. Okay, I'm just going to smooth that out a little bit. Okay, so now we can work on the top set. So let's do this back piece first of all. So apologies if it feels like the video is breaking a little bit every now and then. It's just I have got a little bit of a cold at the minute, and I do have to stop to have a little cough now and then, so I do apologise. Right. Hopefully when I get to editing it'll feel a little smoother, but just in case you do notice it's not quite as smooth as it usually is, well, that's purely the reason why. There we go, so we just pop that on, give that a good press down. I'm happy with that. And then this one, actually I think I'm going to use these, with it being just a smaller piece of cardstock, I don't want it to sort of start popping off like it does sometimes. Okay, so let's just pick up that a little bit. It's just stuck down a little faster than I wanted it to. There we go. And again, I'm going to use these dots again, just with it being a smaller piece of cardstock. So it's just a case of letting that alcohol glue just float that into where we are happy with those borders, and then I can give that press down. So you can see now that those workings, there is a tiny little bit there, but it's basically unnoticeable, whereas before you would have had, if you do it the other way, you will have a lip on the other side. But that is the basis for my card. So you can see it's already looking quite nice and pretty. So now we're going to add toppers and take it to the next level. So I think we're going to go with this darker one with the dots, which is Get Well Wishes. And I do need a stopper, which I don't have, so I'm going to make one from this cardstock itself. Oh, bear with me a second, I just noticed that that's just slightly moved, so let me just get that back where that needs to be. Okay, so let's go back to this. So I'm just going to make myself a stopper to go on here, which is going to keep our card nice and upright. So I don't want a huge one, so I'm going to go at, actually going to go at 2 notches under 1/2 inch. And of course we need to cut this to 5 3/4. And then I'm going to take a piece of this cardstock that we had left over from that earlier piece when we were doing the top, and I'm just going to cut this at 1/2 inch. And then now we should have quite a nice little topper. Actually what I'm going to do is, because that was 2 notches under the 6, I'm just going to take another 2 notches off because I want that to go just on the inside of my piece. way. And for the glue in this one, the best way to glue that is either going to be your tacky glue and then letting it sit for a little minute or so, or as I'm using here, these dots. So it's just a question of just making a nice even border on each side. I can see it just is a little longer than the silver, so I'm just going to trim that up by just following the back. That's silver, and then we've got that nice little border there. Now I do want this to be quite raised, so I am going to use these 2mm ones, but what I am going to do is just cut these a lot narrower. I think that should be plenty. So these are 2mm foam pads. That was a bit thin, might have to team that up. Just want to put a good amount on here to support that ledge. I have to cut a few more. Oops. Let's just do that. Hopefully there'll be more than we need. Got a tiny silly one here. I'm just going to use that a little gap there. So this wants to go anywhere from, well, half the card to 3/4, depending on what sort of angle you are wanting for it. I tend to go usually around about the halfway mark. Now, if you're doing a normal easel, you can put a sentiment on this bar. You can, you know, really factor it into the design of your card. But because my step is going to be hidden, or my step is going to be hiding this part, I really just want it to fit in with the design, and I'm not really making it more part of my more part of my design than that. So I'm going to go just under halfway. Just going to put that straight across. Actually could go with going a little bit that way. Just the beauty of putting that tacky glue on those pads just gives us a little bit of wiggle room time. So now you can see that that's going to sit behind that step, and it does just look like that card is just sat there. Okay, you can see that's curling up a little bit, so we'll put a weight on that while that is drying. But now we can come and do this piece here. I'm just going to pop that out. I'm going to pop that one out because I'm not going to use that silver one. Now, what I do want to do is make sure I stay within the real estate of this card, in that I don't want this to be wildly over the top so that it can't go in a 6x6 envelope. So if I stay within the 6x6 of my card, I'm going to be able to put this in a normal 6x6 envelope. It will fold down all nice for me, even with this piece on there, you know. So let's see. So this frame has got markings north, east, south and west. So I'm going to come in, I think I'm going to go flat with that. And then I'm going to bring the 2mm pads in for this, so that we've really got that massive height difference. This one I'm going to use my tacky glue on, so I'm just going to pop that around. Just don't want to put it anywhere where it's going to be seen, but the tacky glue does kind of wipe it off quite nicely. The most important thing is to make sure you don't put any glue up on this white space here, otherwise your card won't open as an easel, it'll try and open as a normal card. So we're going to pop that on, and then we can just have a little look when that is up. I think it does need to go to the right side a little. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is pop that down again. We'll pop that piece in. I'm going to bring in these 2mm pads, and if I just put them in this little space here, again not going over that white space, and I am putting quite a nice amount here because I want a good amount of support. I'm going to get one more there, I think. Yep. And then what I'm going to do is just pop that down, take these off, and again I'm going to put tacky glue on. Let's just get that piece, and come on now, this piece here, again tacky glue, just giving ourselves the best opportunity to make sure we get this on the way we want it to go. And then I'm just going to make sure that writing is straight. Pop that within that silver frame, and then I can take that out, so that's just acting as a guide for us. And then that is going to be how our card is looking. Now just to finish, I'm going to bring in some of those beautiful little blue gems I've been using, and I think what I'm going to do is pop one in each corner on the front here. And I'll go with this, the biggest one. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is just on this middle piece here, just around about the middle, pop one on there, and then the next size down, and pop some. So the reason why I've done this is because I'm not adding any other sentiment to it. I mean, maybe at a later date I want to add, you know, sister, auntie, cousin, whatever later on sentiment to tie that into whoever I want that to go to. But by just putting those gems on there, it's just making that slightly less plain, and that's going to be my finished card. So that's card number 1, so I'm going to pop that over there for a little while, and I'm going to get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for card number 2 I thought I would do a quick little 6x6 stepper. Feel like I haven't done one for a while, but I probably have done thousands. It gets a bit confusing about what I've done and what I haven't done now with the design team work. But anyway, I've got a piece of 6x12. I've popped it over to the 1-inch part past the cut line, and I'm just going to cut from 1 to 7. And then I'm going to turn that over and do exactly the same on the other side, 1 to 7. And then what I'm going to do, just while it's in here, pop that at the 6-inch mark. There goes Henry. And I'm just going to score across the middle between those cut lines. It's just going to make it easier for me to find the score line, or when I pop it on the scoreboard, which I'm going to do now. So I'm going to score out 1, 2, and 7, and I'm just going to go along that score line that I just did there, because the board does make it a deeper and a better score line, to be honest. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side, so 1, 2, and 7 just up to that cut line. That is the basic stepper. Just a little 1-step one, super easy to do, always looks beautiful, especially with Hunkydory. So I'm just going around and just helping those creases find their way. And then what I can do is bring in the burnishing tool. And don't forget to burnish the folds underneath as well. And then you're going to end up with a beautiful little stepper. You could even have it going that way if you wanted to. I know I've seen cards on Pinterest where they've done that. Maybe I will do that at some point, but not today. Today I wanted to do a normal little stepper. So let's grab the trimmer. And I think for this one I'm going to use some holographic mirror rather than just normal, just for a different look. And I'm going to start by taking 2 notches off one side, and then I'm going to turn that around, pop that up to 2 notches under the one on the other side of the cut line, and then that's going to be our first piece to go on that front there. And then I want to do 2 similar pieces for here, but they're 5 by 1. So I'm going to take 2 notches under the one, and I'm going to do the same again. And then we can trim that down to 2 notches under the 5. Like so. Skip those bits. And then the centre piece is 4 by 5. So I'm going to take 2 notches off that 4 and 2 notches off that 5. And if you cut your mirror mat that way, you get all of those pieces out of the one mirror mat, which is perfect. Okay. Now I'm going to come in with this piece that we used before. And I'm thinking, so these pieces at the side, they need to be 3/4 of an inch. So let's see. Well, I'm just thinking maybe I'll bring in one of the pieces of paper. So I'm going to bring in this piece of paper. So I'm going to start just by cutting a piece that's 3/4 of an inch from that bottom, because I want that dark piece to run along the side here at the bottom there. So that is going to be 3/4 of an inch by 5 3/4. And then I'm going to do these smaller pieces going down the sides out of this. So again, I'll just move you over a little bit. I'm going to cut a piece, actually I'm going to cut 2 pieces that are 3/4 of an inch. And I don't think I'm going to get them out of one piece, so I'm going to do that twice. And this is a beautiful fresh pan, I love that one. And then we can take that to 4 3/4. And they will go onto there. And yeah, so we'll have those. Let's put those the right way up, otherwise I'm going to have some Irish flowers. And then this piece in the middle, which is 4 by 5, I'm going to bring this piece in. I'm going to cut it at 3 3/4 first of all, and then I'm going to take the smallest bit of that bottom piece and then I can take that to 4 3/4. A lot of that's going to be hidden anyway, but it's just for a little bit of background noise if you're looking through my circle. Okay, so those are my layers. And these little steppers, they're perfect for using up little bits of kits. I mean, like for instance, I mean, I am going to use the big topper on there today, but if I can find where that topper has gone. There you are, you're hiding from me. Why are you hiding? I mean, these are a good size. You could have 2 on, you know, because this is what we're filling. You could have 2, you know, on there, or 1 with a sentiment, and that would still fill this card quite well. So it's a lovely little card, this one, and I do really like it a lot. Okay, let's come in. We're going to come in with this dotty tape pen and some alcohol glue, the all-purpose, which is the same as Hunkydory's construction. And can I just, while I'm doing this, I'm just going to do the same to layer all these up. But can I just say thank you, a huge thank you to all of you guys that keep messaging me, and I think you all get as excited as I do when you see my cards on Hunkydory and Hobby Maker. So huge thank you, I really do appreciate it. But I am still, it still like proper blows me away when I see them there. And they've been really, all the guys there, they've been really what's the word, positive and enjoying what I've been making so far. A lot of them anyway, I'm sure, because they do comments and they send me emails and things. So it's been a really cool experience. So what I would say is, if you see you know, an advert for maybe next year, if they do it next year, I don't know if they do it yearly, or I suppose it depends on their need, whether they need more or not. But if you do see an advert for the DT team, so give it a go, you know. As long as you're posting sort of regularly your cards, and I know a lot of you do, you stand a really good chance, you know, because I can tell you there are people on the design team that are way more talented than me. Yeah, it's a really great experience. I don't know why I'm using this glue now. I could have used my tacky, but yeah, but it's worth a go. So that's what I would say. If you are thinking about it and you see it, throw your hat in the ring. You might get knocked back a couple of times, you know, but keep going, because it's a great experience, and exciting as well. It's really exciting. But there you go. Anyway, let's get on with this. So we're just carrying on layering these up, popping them on. Let's flatten that out. And the holographic mirror on this one, it just adds something a little bit different. These are the holographic mirror mats, but there are the other holographic packs as well, which do give the different looks. You might have any of the mirror specials, because there's been a couple. Actually, I won't use that one, I'll use these. There's been a couple of mirror card specials, rainbow mirror specials, and they all have different looks as well. So holographic is a nice way to just have a slightly different look, and it picks up all the colours. Like I can see purples and green, sort of mermaid colours really coming through. So and then these pieces at the side, what I would say is just to make sure you've got good borders around the top and the bottom. Don't worry so much about the top and the sides. Don't worry so much about the bottom, because when the card is up, you don't really see the bottom of those edges anyway. So just concentrate more on those top pieces, I would say. So let's just pop these on. And in. There we go. So that is where we're at, and you can see that's looking quite pretty as it is. But we're gonna, as always, add that max to it. So this one I am going to use one of the little sentiments, I think. But I don't know whether I want to use Thinking of You or Heartfelt Sympathy. I think I might go with Heartfelt Sympathy. Okay. So again, I'm not using this middle foiled border. So that goes in a little pack. I may end up using that when I do. So the next video I do is going to be using the little book that came with this pack. So I may end up using some of those. So I'm kind of feeling like I might do that in the middle actually. And then a couple of gems at each side. Okay, so let's grab some 1mm foam palettes, and what I'm going to do, let's just pop that to the side. I'm going to pop that on around about where we need it to go, and I can see I really only need to put pads at the top and the bottom, so just cut 3, pop that one in the middle there. One in the middle there, and then I can go either side. And actually what I should have done, and I haven't, is make sure I've got this the right way up. So this frame has a border, and I always do it, I annoy myself so much when I do, but there is a border at the top and the bottom. So what I should have done is made sure that that was right way up. So I can pop that one on there, and I can pop that one on there. What I would say is that that one is just a little bit too far over. So I'm going to bring in my glue eraser, and I'll take off the majority of that, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of all-purpose glue, that alcohol based glue, and what I can do is just use my little glue eraser, and as that alcohol glue dries, what it's going to do is pick up that glue. Sometimes it works just with the glue eraser, but sometimes it's just a little bit more stubborn. But that alcohol glue just breaks down that glue a little bit and makes it into like a little glue. What's the word I can use? Like a little piece of gum, really, I guess. As that glue all glues together. But now we should be fine. So and you can see it's all clean behind, so, and it's not sticky either. So if you are like me and totally forget that sometimes that some of these borders do have a natural way, then that glue eraser is a great thing to put in your basket, and I think it's only about £3 or £4 from Hunkydory. You might want to get one sort of closer to you if you're in the States. I'm sure there are other versions, but let's come in and pop that across. So we've got that foil top and bottom. You could have gone side to side of it, doesn't really matter. It's whatever suits your eye. Now what I think I'm going to do today, which I don't do very often, is have all of these toppers at the same height. So that's going to go in just to act as a guide for me. And then I'm just going to come in with these 1mm ones again. This time I don't have to worry about which way up they are going. It's just a question of plonking those on. Oh, we don't want to do that because there's one on there, silly. Okay. again, tacky glue is my friend. And it's not cheesy, it'll be your friend too if you want it to. But also the purple glue stick is perfect for this as well. I have tried that and I did really like it. And in fact, I think if I was gluing onto paper, say if I was gluing onto here, it, you know, low-key might be slightly better. Okay, now let's just pop that frame out if it wants to not hide. Come on now. I'm just trying hard not to bend anything. There we go. So we've got that out. That's perfectly central on there. And then because we've just gone at those 1mm on there, I'm going to go the same on here. And we'll pop this into the centre. There we go. And then I am going to come in. I'm going to come in with. I might just come in with some silver pearls, just because I want something pretty on these corners, but I don't want it to be too pretty. I could go with the holographic pearls that I've got, but this is a sympathy card, so I'm just going to go with actually I might just put two on here, one on there, one on there, just something to brighten that corner up, just to add something in. If you weren't doing this as a sympathy card, maybe you've just got somebody who is going through a tough time and you just want to send them a wishing you comfort and peace card to sort of, as a sort of random act of kindness, just to show that you're with them, supporting them. You could totally bling that out. You could be glittering all of these. You could be adding that in, but I'm leaving that as it is because I am going to keep it, like I say, as a sympathy card for when I do need one. You know, it's one of those things you don't like to have to make, but that one I do quite like, so it is pretty. It's going to stand like so on a shelf, and it's got quite a lot going for it, that one. I like that one. That's card number 1, and then we've got our little easel card with that step, and that one's gone for a little wander, so let's just push you back up. The little gem had moved. And there we go, we've got that back in. But that, let's bring them down a bit, they're a bit far out of shot. But that, those are the 2 cards for today. I will put pictures up on Pinterest and Facebook. I've also got to put the pictures up today from the newly released adorable scoreable cards and the limited edition die. I don't know if you caught Hunkydory today, 19th of February, but their launch was this morning, and the new pads are really, really nice. My favourite is the stained glass and the check one, but the other one is also super useful for, I think, a lot of things. You're probably going to see me making a lot of things with all 3 of those books, to be honest with you. But check those out anyway. Go check out Hunkydory, see what they made today. They made some really cool things. I think it was Kat this morning, if I remember rightly. And you know, Kat, she always makes a stunner of a card. And I think she made 3 today. And 3 great ideas of what to use with the new books. But that's it for me today. Waffling again. Apologies. I will see you next time. And until then, happy crafting. Bye.